Right, well, not surprised, they can make that kind
Apocalypse now.
Kind of, but after a while.
The cameras are on,
Get used to
and
it.
the microphone is directly over the three of you, so.
of, and you're recording.
Yes.
We're talking house sales. so-
Some of the most interesting aspects of the transcript are rumbling from this side of the room towards the back.
It's funny when you watch from home, the times I haven't been here and I'm watching, you can definitely hear more about what's going on here than you can
It's
about
very
what's going on there.
Except for the ones that
Maybe
are
people
to always that sensitive.
Maybe people will hear the house sales.
They're like, oh, I need a house.
Yeah, right.
I'm just looking for a house.
Now we know what they really think of us.
On occasion, Steve has called and said, before the meeting started, I think I should probably kill that 2 minutes.
What fun.
Hi, Luke, good to see you again.
It's 6 o'clock on May 27th, 2025. Open the meeting. Public comment, if you have a public comment to make, come to the podium, state your name and address, address your comments to the board, not to the audience, and you have 3 minutes, Mr. Town.
John Tappan, 187 Stepping Stones Road. The first appointment item on this evening's agenda is the architect's contract for new library entry. Here the town has an opportunity to do what has not been done at this site before, to responsibly care for the Lee Hill Bog and to provide an entry that accommodates the widest range of users. The proposed construction is on town land outside of the library building and under the management of the select board. Currently, neither the ramp nor the stairs meet ADA standards. The SMP contract lists a new ADA compliant ramp or walkway, but does not mention stairs. The ADA standards do not require, but do advise that wherever possible, stairs should also be provided, quote, for use by those individuals for whom distance presents a greater barrier than steps. For example, people with heart disease or limited stamina, end quote. Note that if a maximum slope walkway is provided instead of a maximum slope ramp, the walkway will be 66% longer than the ramp would have been, making the need for a direct route stairway even greater. The bog is a poor-level fen bog system having a state conservation status rank of S3, vulnerable. Almost all of the planned project is located within the town's 75-foot setback. In an article about the importance of the Lee Hill Bog, Catherine Fisher stated, quote, though in decades past, build-outs within this setback have occurred, increased knowledge of the importance of this vulnerable habitat should inform any considerations of further encroachment. The SMP contract project understanding does not seem to comply with ADA standards advice or consider the negative effects of impervious surfaces so close to the bog. Just as we can now look back at previous generations' actions and wish they'd made better decisions, the next generation will be looking at our environmental and societal actions with a similar eye. We should be doing the best that current knowledge allows. The Select Board has this responsibility.
Thank you, Mr. Chapman. Anybody else? Next thing on the agenda is appointments. Annie Gazowski.
We've used SMP in the previous phases of our library renovations, and they're a good company. They've used, done a lot of library work around. They're redoing Dover, Barrington, a lot of places, and we really have a lot of faith in them. They've listened to all of our things that we have asked them to do. we'll make sure that they understand the points that the select board made, and we would hope that we could get this contract underway.
Any questions?
I read over the contract, and I just have a couple of questions. And I noticed a new contract came in this afternoon, and it's been changed from oversized to a welcoming vestibule. What does that mean?
We're still working definitely on the plans, and we understand and understood that the select board was not very much in favor of the wording of the contract that was there, so we asked for them to change it, and that's what they came up with. Welcoming means that it's not going to be just cut and dried and just a, bare opening. It's going to have some character, just as the rest of our library does.
Does this mean that it's basically going to fit within the existing footprint?
Yes.
Anybody else have anything else to say, or?
Go for it.
Christie. Whoever stands up first.
Um,
Both get to speak.
Yeah, I just wanted to clarify existing footprint, because right now there is no Katrina Palakia, library trustee, because there is no footprint for the vestibule, so I don't, what do you mean by existing footprint?
I think what the board conveyed to Andy, which I believe conveyed to you, we're looking for something that's about 8 by 10, 8 foot by 10 foot, and no change in terms of the permeable cover. So if it's whatever percentage it is now, it should stay the same.
Okay.
And so I guess my question to whomever wants to answer the question, why can't that be put into the document? Because basically we went from something that was kind of specific to something that's kind of general. And my concern is, we don't want them, I do not want them, excuse me, going out and doing something that is something the board's gonna say, no, that's not what we asked for. So I guess what I'm saying is, I'm not in favor of signing this contract as it is until those stipulations are put in there. So everybody's under the understanding that that's what we're looking for. That's what the board's looking for.
Okay.
Did we know that?
Not yet.
I believe that was in the email that Andy sent.
The email I sent had the dimensions 8 by 10 and had a ratio for impervious to pervious, but
Okay, yeah, no, I remember, we did talk about that, of course, it was something that was discussed during a non-public session, so, secondhand. But I don't think I realized that you intended that language to be in the contract.
Now, I believe you do, correct?
Okay, so this delays it another 2 weeks, okay, that's fine.
Scott, is it possible to actually put it under conditional approval? In other words, we sign it, but the conditions are mentioned like a law.
Oh, that's not the contract, though. That's not gonna be in the contracts.
Yeah, but it'll be in the minutes.
I'm comfortable.
Go ahead and sign.
I'm comfortable. I've been here before, unless it's in writing and specific.
Wait for him to call it. Yeah, say something.
Yes, Deb, Shanda.
Deborah Shanda, 18 Hill Farm Road. I would really discourage against saying 8 by 10, because I think we're really looking for square footage, because we haven't even started on the designs yet. I mean, we went through pictures, period. So I would want some more leeway that would say, not to encroach on this or that, and maybe we go for 80 to 100 square feet. Something onto that language. But to specify 8 by 10, you've now limited your design significantly.
Well, I would think the architects would know the minimum requirement for a series set of doors associated with people that have limited mobility. So there is, they'll be able to come up with an exact number what the minimum requirement is.
Oh, I'm not talking about ADA at all. I'm talking about the footprint. I have full confidence in this group. They
Okay.
have built numerous libraries, and we relied on them for several items in building doing the renovation, and they came through every time. I mean, at one point, Jason went to Concord to talk to the people, because he was right, and we were just the town of Lee was interpreting it incorrectly. So yeah, I have total confidence. I'm just saying, I don't think that 8 by 10 is that restriction that then limits your design significantly. So I would prefer that you come up with something that, not to exceed a space amount. Just so that we have the leeway to do what's appropriate for the plot and the doors and the windows, and that's all. I'm not trying to limit it beyond what you've said, but just give it more leeway in terms of design.
I understand.
Mr. Chapman?
John Tappan, 187 Stepping Stones Road. From recommendations that I've seen for walk-off surface for a vestibule, because one of the functions of a vestibule is to provide a walk-off surface to help keep dirt from people's shoes from getting into the building. And a recommended distance that I've seen is 10 feet as a minimum. Many are made shorter, but you want to have it long enough that people have more than one footstep with a left foot and a right foot on the carpet, but a little more than that. And 10 foot is the recommended distance that I've seen. So that enters into the minimum size of the vestibule.
Comments?
I would think at this point that the architects should come up with a wording. I think you got the thought of what we need at this point. And I would leave it up to them to, if you want to talk square footage, at least we'll have something to work with at this point. So instead of saying it has to be 8 by 10 perfectly, it might be a little bit shifted, 9 by 8, whatever, depending on how you want to lay the vestibule out.
So I would suggest, when you get something from SMP, you send it to Andy as soon as possible so we can have a chance to look at it. If there's something that we have problems with, let us know so we can get back to you so you can tweak whatever you need to tweak, so that when you come back in 2 weeks, we can sign it. Okay? Anything else? Can we do number 2 when we do the consent agenda? This is something we just need to sign, right? Unless you want to just,
I'm not hearing what you're
I
saying.
can't hear you.
it's the alternate library trustee?
Well, if the consent agenda, you agree, you
understand
approve
that.
altogether.
But
This
we
is,
sign it, it doesn't,
yeah, you don't have to sign
anything you want to talk to us about in terms of the alternate?
I will.
Okay, thanks.
Leslie Klaus has lived within Lee for a long time. At this point, she is working at UNH, and she's very interested in our library. She has done a lot of things in the past. She's also on the board of the Friends of the Library, and she has been to a few of our meetings already and has really shown that she is interested. She has brought to our attention that she might not be able to be at a few of our meetings in the fall because of her teaching requirements, but overall, she's a person that we would really like to have on our board.
Right. And the RSA allow them to have alternates?
Yes.
Sounds good. Anything else? No? Haley, any Gales?
Haley McGills, Director of the Library, just here again and on my annual trip to see if we can continue to use the old town hall for scheduled programming that we have for adults and children currently. Also, we still have furniture in the old clerk's office, and we still have books in this storage container next to the library. So requesting permission from the board to keep hold of that space for another year while we work our way through the vestibule and that side of things, and to keep the program space too.
In terms of the books that you have in there, we're thinking, or we're trying to move that over so the police department can use it.
Okay,
Is there some other place you can, no?
We're working on that, although we have no idea where we're going to put the town clerk's materials that she's got in it.
Oh, that's still an issue?
That is still an issue.
All right, so at some point,
there is, because most of the books in there are book sale books, and we have a book sale scheduled for June 21st. And I'm hoping, I did say to the friends that we need to weed down all those books now after this one, because they've been through a lot. So most of what's in there is book sale books. There are 2 huge revolving bookcases in there, that if we're okay to continue to use the town clerk's office, we can move in there and reorganize that space a little bit. So yes, absolutely, we can get out of there sooner rather than later.
so
The
just.
problem is, as you look at them, the one on the left is jam-packed full of vital statistics records, vehicle registration records.
Okay.
And the one on the right doesn't have all of our stuff in, there are town documents
Yeah,
in there.
there's about 20 boxes of town
There are.
documents.
Well, just kind of heads up
Yeah.
in terms of that's what we're thinking of trying to get out. Yeah, so thank you very much. Any questions?
No, I'm good.
So. Do I have something? I don't think I have something. Do I? Yes, I do. All right. I move to grant the library permission to use the old town hall as a community space for local groups and residents for another year. So basically terminating June 30th, 2026. Do I have a second?
Second.
Discussion?
No discussion.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes.
Thank you very much.
We'll see you in a year, or probably before that.
See, maybe 4, don't you worry.
Next up is Lou Grundon, Energy Commission.
Grundon, 14 Owl Lane, Energy Commission. So, a little background. Last year, there was a grant for a small solar array for municipality. Actually, I think there was 2 of them for the state, 2 at a time. And Katrin, who works at Clean Energy New Hampshire, encouraged us to do something. Unfortunately, it was so close to the deadline that, and I just spoke to Katrin this morning, and those grants seem to still be going on. So we would like permission to get some quotes on a solar array, preferably something close to here, because this building has 3-phase power, which is very important. It would be a smaller array than the one we have now, but it would beef up what we have. And one of the intentions is to be ready. A lot of electrification is going on in the country. You've got the electric vehicles, heat pump water heaters, battery storage is going way down, and if it's free, we'll be ready for it, and the town would save quite a bit of money. So, and it wouldn't cost anything for the quotes.
Question though, I think I've had this discussion before. I'm not enthusiastic about putting anything on this roof.
No, it's not, it wouldn't be on the roof.
Okay, just want to make that clear at this point.
Yeah, it wouldn't be on the roof.
Do you have a vision where you think it might be?
Well, we asked about the field. We contacted Oyster River Youth Association, and they're not as interested in it. And we can't seem to find anybody else that's interested in using that field. So it wouldn't take up that much space because it wouldn't be that big an array. So we figure some corner in the field close by would be pretty ideal.
So is this the same situation that somebody else pays for it, we lease it back?
No,
Well,
this
what's
would be,
What's the,
I think it's pretty much paid for by the grant.
really?
It sounds like it.
It sounds too good to be true.
Yeah, that's
I'm a
when
little
usually the
concerned
ball
there.
falls out.
Yeah, I know. Two towns got it last year.
Well, I guess it can't hurt just to get a quote, doesn't mean we have to do anything.
No, no.
Sounds fine to me.
Yeah, let's move forward.
All right, thank you.
Thanks for doing that, Lou.
Sure.
Appreciate it.
Oh, I did, I'm going to request to be on the sustainability committee. I don't know what the process is
There's
exactly.
a form, an appointment form, fill it out and bring it back. I think it's
And-
still online, isn't it?
I can email it to you.
Yeah, does it have to be approved before, by you guys, right? So, well, they have a meeting next week, so I guess I could start the month after.
Okay, or you can just
You
attend.
can just attend the meeting and
Just
provide.
attend.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay.
The only thing you can't do is vote. So
Yes.
That's what the.
The only thing is, two of their members are having health issues, they can't go to the meetings, so they need one more person to have a quorum. That was the point, so
Okay.
anyways, well, thank you.
Well, if somebody had a form, he could fill it out and we could sign it.
If you had told me before, I would have done it.
We do not have that at this
I
point.
used to have one, I brought some with me,
Really?
but I don't have, I gave out my last one.
I don't have a blank one.
All right. Regular business, town administrator.
Okay, I do not have a tremendous amount. There were some housekeeping things. I will have bank signature cards at the next meeting, pending TD reviewed the minutes that you signed for yourselves and myself, and then we added the assistant treasurer. So they're waiting for the minutes for the assistant treasurer, and Keith is going to give me all of them as a package. We almost had difficulty because no one except the treasurer realized that the treasurer was going to be in Britain for a while. He did get back in time, so we were able to get what we needed signed. John's key to this building is coming, although we have stumped 3 locksmiths. The most recent that I went to was A&B Lock in Dover, who was sure they could do it until they examined the key for about 15 minutes and told me they would do some ordering and get back to me. But you should have a key by the end of this week. So it is apparently a fairly unique key, that square package. Steve and the library trustees, I think, know this. They just left. Steve's crew is going to start poking around on the side of the library that was not re-sided and try to determine what's rotten and to what extent there might be rotten timber behind the siding. And they're going to start that either at the end of this week or the beginning of next week. 1 or 2 people just pulling things off, taking a look.
Hopefully it's not as bad as the schoolhouse where the paint was holding everything up.
Hopefully not. I just pulled one thing from the consent agenda, that being the Board of Directors election for the New Hampshire Electric Co-op. You're going to actually have to select candidates for that rather than leave it in the consent agenda. So I don't know if you had a chance to look at it and have any favorites.
I believe in previous years, we've just ignored it.
Happy to do that as well.
There you go.
And there were no Lee residents on the ballot this year, so be only accountable. The other thing that I would mention, I put non-public under L here for a legal update, but I could certainly update the board without going into non-public that we have now submitted a complaint petition to Stratford District Court for their consideration for the special town meeting and are waiting to see what happens from that. And we have shifted attorneys on the library siding, and I am hoping to see results sooner rather than later there. And essentially, where that stands is we've asked the contractor to pay the entire cost of replacement, and we have a contractor on standby that's ready to go anytime this summer as soon as we understand what we're getting for money or whether we have to go to court.
Any update on the 125 property?
Yes, the abutter who owns the demolition company actually, I believe, reimbursed us or paid for.
No, it was the owner, I think, of the trailer. reimbursed us for the.
Yeah, we've got full reimbursement for the cost of cleaning up the site, so,
Oh, okay.
at this point.
So it's not ours, we didn't take possession of it, or?
That part has not been finalized yet. Linda did,
No, we just don't have to file the lien anymore,
Okay.
so that's.
because we've been reimbursed in full.
So now the taxes are paid, everything's all paid up.
Oh, everything's paid, oh.
I'm
okay.
pretty sure everything's paid. This was what they needed to reimburse, and now they can sell it. And
I'm
Okay.
in general
Good.
agreement, but the only thing I've actually seen with my eyes that I recollect is the cost of demolition, removal, and cleanup,
Okay.
so.
All right, well, as long as we've been made whole, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's where we stand with that.
Okay.
And I'm aware at this point of no other legal issues.
Did you know?
that I know of.
All right, consent agenda. We're pulling 7.
I did pull 7, yes.
Okay, we're pulling 7. So I move to accept the consent agenda as presented, except for item number 7. Do I have a second?
Second?
Any discussion?
No discussion.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Is Mr. Benson not well today, or?
I don't know, I didn't have any communication.
Okay.
You can always cross this out, please.
Oh, that's pretty sneaky, John. That's
Pretty
sneaky.
good, that's good. Yes.
Yes, I had a few of those appointment forms, but I used the last one, so.
I can,
that's okay, we still don't have the official form that you'd have to sign anyway, so.
and I believe we're also supposed to have a recommendation from the committee they're joining, which I had talked with Lou about this morning, and he hadn't been to a meeting yet, so. I'll talk with Dean, the chairman of that committee, tomorrow morning.
Are they short members?
They are.
You mentioned something.
They were very close to not having a quorum before they had members with health problems, as Lou mentioned, so. Yes.
This one for gravel says addressed to Elizabeth Stone. Why is her name still?
Oh, really?
Yep.
Okay, I'll cross it out.
She's moonlighting for us.
Really? All the way from Maine?
Portland.
Ooh, this is blue. This is.
Thank you.
Nothing in old business, I assume, nothing in new business, and you don't need non-public. Correct? All right, anything else?
Nothing.
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
No discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Bingo.